There is nothing that is wrong in wanting you to stay here with me. When you've got somewhere to go, won't you lay your worries down and stay with me? Don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. The sun ain't nearly on the rise. We still got the moon and the stars above. Underneath that velvet sky, love is all that matters. Won't you stay with me? Don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, don't need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. Yeah, man. Long to see the morning light coloring your face so dreamily. So don't you go and say goodbye. Love is all that matters. Won't you stay with me? Don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, don't need to leave so soon. I've been crying all night long just to talk to you. I've been crying all night long just to talk to you. I've been crying all night long just to talk to you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jay Jamison.
Doors are opening. Lights are being turned on because we are getting back to work. But this work is going to feel different, look different. Small things matter. Time matters. Connections are going to matter more than ever. We're here not to just help you get back to work, but help you get back to the future of work. Where evolving operations isn't just important, it's vital. Where integrations, insights, and governance matter even more than they ever have before. As you work to get your businesses back and running, keep your employees safe, and thrive in this new reality, we're here to provide you with the platform to do it better than you ever thought was possible. Welcome back to the future of work.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jay Jamison.
Woohoo! Good morning, everybody. It's Jay, and I am trying to share my screen, which I'll be able to do in just a minute, I'm sure. Hold 1 second, everybody. I'm so excited to have the chance to talk to you. I think I'm able to share my screen now. Here we go. Well, good morning. I'm Jay Jamison, the Chief Product and Technology Officer at QuickBase, and I am so thrilled that you have taken the time to join us for this year's Empower User Conference, our first held entirely virtually in the cloud. We're so glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Despite the fact that we had to move through some intense short-term challenges to move this event from a physically located event in San Diego, California to virtual, I can assure you that we have not compromised a bit on delivering to you an action-packed full agenda over the next 2 days. We have some great sessions, great speakers, I think really expert content for our entire community. And we've aspired to hit and deliver a very high bar of our keynote, as we always do, filled with many guest speakers, customers, product demos, and many really exciting announcements. And of course, we have that wonderful band, which I'd like to thank so much, the Replicas, for joining us today. So really exciting, action-packed agenda, thrilled to have you. Today, we're going to talk about how our community and our company is really on the leading edge of a movement to get the world back to the future of work. And I'm so excited to have the opportunity to talk to you about that today. But before we do, I'd like to make a brief statement, cover some housekeeping, and then give some thanks. In terms of a statement, this is an incredibly challenging time in many of our communities. Many of us are hurting. And it's okay to not be okay. I know that I personally am not okay. I feel as though I take great passion and I have great love and empathy for all of our employees and all of the members of our community. I love our customers and I love what the movement of our software platform represents in terms of empowering people at the edge to be able to solve problems in their business, in their organization, and in their communities. And despite that, I think when we all see the horrific examples of systemic racism in our society, we're not only horrified as humans, we also get angry. And I think if you're like me, my reflection is I realize that no matter what I've been doing, there's so much more that I need to be leaning in to help, to listen, to help make our movement and the work that I do and spend time dedicated with our employees and with our community to try and make things move in a better and more effective way. So I just want to say briefly here that we stand with our Black communities today and always. We stand with our Black employees. We stand with the Black members of this incredibly exciting and compelling community. And we stand with everyone fighting systemic racism. And I also acknowledge that we absolutely have to do more. This is a community event. This is a community that I think is very strong and powerful. And I wanted to take a minute just at the beginning to acknowledge that we thought, given the power and the engagement of this community, that it was really important that we came together and acknowledged the terrible time that our nation and our community and our world is facing right now. And I wanted to have a moment to acknowledge it in order that we were open. And I wanted to move forward as best I can in this keynote with the acknowledgement of that in a way that's powerful, that brings us together, that drives a conversation where we can use software and use each other and talk to each other about how we can not only get the world back to the future of work, but back to a better future indeed. So thank you for letting me make that brief statement. I will try very hard now to get on to housekeeping and on to some of the gratitudes that are important in relation to the Empower event. In terms of housekeeping, as I mentioned, we have an extremely packed agenda today. Lots of product announcements, lots of customer announcements, and as a result, we've made a decision to have an intermission about 45 minutes into this discussion, about halfway through. That'll give you a chance to hear a little bit more from the band. You can get a drink, you can stand up, you can stretch out, you can move, but please come back. After the break, we have a ton of great product demos, a ton of great product announcements, some really exciting things ahead of us. So I want to make sure that I let you know that's coming. Now on to thanks. Beth Highland, Allison Hunt, and our production team, to say nothing of everyone else, overcame a tremendous short-term obstacle in having to transition this event from in-person to virtual. I need to express my deep appreciation and gratitude to them. Second, our product organization has been working day and night to tee up the many product demos, the releases, the new innovation that we're going to showcase today. I have a tremendous privilege and honor to be able to lead that organization day in and day out. And I have to express my strong thanks and gratitude to them. And finally, to the rest of my QuickBase employee base, our partners, all of our customers, I want to express my deep thanks to make this job so fun and for helping to build this wonderful and engaged community. And again, I want to express my thanks to the band, The Replicas, for giving us such great music at the beginning of this show. So as I mentioned, community is a huge part of what we do. I see our Zoom channel is blowing up with chat already, which is great. But what I want to also do is invite you to join our public Slack community. As I mentioned, our community, people coming together at Empower in our user conference, is an incredibly compelling reason for people to come to Empower every year. And as we shifted to virtual, we thought it was very important to try and get as much of that virtual engagement as we possibly could. And we thought that a public Slack channel would be a good way to do it. You can access it from quickbase.com/Slack, and I invite you to go there. It includes, it's open to everyone. Your company doesn't have to be on Slack to be able to get access to it. It provides real-time communication and Q&A, which is actually really useful and fun, not just to connect with other people, but it can be very useful when you're trying to build an application and you have a question, or if you're trying to configure a pipeline. And it's got all kinds of GIFs, party parrots, emoticons, and so on, which we think just makes life more fun online. So as you can see, even in these serious times, I try hard not to take myself too seriously. I try to keep these events, these keynotes light. I try to keep it fun. You'll see that throughout this event today. But I want to assure you, if you're new to QuickBase, one thing that's very, very clear, core to me, when we're talking about your success and you getting impact using our product to help solve the problems in your business or organization, I myself and the entirety of QuickBase takes your success very, very seriously. And so all joking aside, this is an absolutely dead serious keynote from our perspective. The platform and the work we aspire to deliver to you day in and day out is something we aspire to be world-class in terms of the value, the performance, the reliability, the dependability of us as a company. To help frame how we see now the future of business and where we plan to take QuickBase in the future as we aspire to get our product, our company, our community rallied around getting the world back to the future of work, I would like to now welcome and introduce to the QuickBase community our new Chief Executive Officer. I'd like to welcome now Ed Jennings, CEO of QuickBase, who just joined us last month. Ed.
Hey Jay, how you doing?
Great, how are you?
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here today. You know, I've been a part of QuickBase now for about a month, and I've been hearing so much about specifically the community and the passion that people have for our products, for the work they do with our platform, for each other, for what they learn from each other, how they grow from each other, and that Empower as an event is sort of at the corner and the cornerstone of that. And so I know a lot was sort of overcome to get here. I know a month ago or multiple months ago when a physical event in San Diego was not to be for shelter in place, there was a decision. Should we still proceed? And it's so exciting to see 2.5 times the number of people that originally or typically would come to one of our events register. And I'm looking at the number of participants today, right now. I'm like, that's amazing. It does speak to the commitment people have to the platform and what they can do. Speaking of community, I want to reiterate something you said for sure, because clearly the last 48 hours in particular, it brought, the issue of racism and violence just back to the forefront. We had a lot of thinking about this event. And for everybody in this community, we really need you to know that we do stand with our Black communities and with our Black employees and with our Black members of this Empower community and beyond in software, and anybody fighting violence and racism. We want to respect the social media blackout. We believe that this event today and anything we do around this event is about education and connection, not as a promotional activity or something we'll use for that purpose. But we did think it was really important to come together and to continue to build us as a community and these connections and to help empower people to solve complex problems. So again, long-winded way of saying I couldn't be more excited to be here and participating in my first Empower event.
Great. Well, thank you for saying that, Ed. I know the community appreciates it deeply. Just to get to know you a little bit, why tell us about why you joined QuickBase and why now?
Yeah. Well, I've known about QuickBase for a little while, actually. But when I really had my aha moment of the power of what's possible, I was actually being sold to as a prospect. And we were in the middle. I was a part of a high growth company. We went from hundreds to thousands of employees in a matter of a few years. And we were, I used the analogy of, I don't know, the Chris Farley, fat guy in a little coat. We were busting out of our systems, busting out of our processes. We weren't prepared for the increasing kind of complexity and globalization of our business. And we were spending fortunes on trying to migrate to things like major CRM apps like Salesforce, and saw what we could have done and the agility and the amount of solutions that something like QuickBase as a platform could solve for us. And that was kind of my moment of saying, wow, this has a huge place in the world and the market, and I want to learn more about it. So that was my introduction.
Excellent. And given that you joined in the last month and went through the entire sort of joining during COVID-19, what's that like?
Yeah, someone, a media person the other day called me a COVID native CEO, which I took as a compliment, I guess. I'm not really sure how to interpret it, but it's been surreal. The recruiting process, the onboarding process, a lot of the team building, this event, everything is being done virtually. I'm actually, for the first time the other day, saw my office. Came in here just because, with the dog and kids and, shaky Wi-Fi, I couldn't trust it to do this event from my house. So I came in for the first time to see the office. So it's been interesting. One thing though, and I've learned this more so even after joining, I've been in cybersecurity about a decade, and it's interesting. There's a real parallel in my mind of where that industry was a decade ago, in that there were people that were very savvy to the problems of cyber risk and doing really sophisticated sort of technologies and things to mitigate that risk. But it was a little bit of a back office function, if you know what I mean. It was not the forefront in minds of sort of business leaders and boards and whatnot. And what started to happen is more and more things got digitized and then connected, and we became more and more dependent on it. You started to see really big names, really sophisticated companies doing a lot of the right things, still fall prey to these very sophisticated cyber attacks. Target and Anthem and JP Morgan, preeminent names, the Pentagon. If they couldn't keep themselves safe, who could? And what that triggered was boards and CIOs and CEOs started to realize we have to get on this problem. This is a whole new world we live in. And it feels like COVID is creating a similar sort of reality check that the world won't be different moving forward. We played, and we're trying to think through this. We have, as they flashed up earlier, like over 300 companies doing hundreds more, multiples of that, applications to support their sort of like get back to work and COVID response and whatnot. The thing that we started thinking about, it's about back to work, but more importantly, and I love this quote from Gartner, and just as an aside, I loved his purple shirt. I want to naively believe that maybe he did it in solidarity with QuickBase and our community. I'm not sure if I could validate that. I do have a purple shirt, and I'm rocking some new QuickBase socks that I got in my welcome to QuickBase, my kit. But anyways, I think this gets after it. It's not back to work. It's back to a whole new way of work. It's back to the future of work. And we don't just say that because we think that's convenient for us, or that's pithy and a clever sort of marketing or something to jump onto, but because we think three fundamental things have changed and will not change back. This creates a situation where it's dramatic and permanent as far as is the reality of how people will work and operate and build applications and workflows moving forward. And the first is none of us actually, probably of our generations, have ever experienced this kind of economic disruption. In terms of what we're seeing, it goes back to the 20s and the 30s. That is a reality that is we're all becoming very akin to. And so the number of staff reductions that you hear about every day, the amount of the pressure on doing more with less, the reduction of capital projects, it is an intense environment. But at the same time, the cost of doing business is actually going up. The cost of keeping our employees safe, our facilities safe, our customers, things aren't getting less expensive, they're getting more expensive, even as we're seeing tremendous pressure. And so And I think we're at the beginnings of probably quite a bit more compliance requirements to make sure we are protecting ourselves and our people. And so you've got that economic reality. At the same time, for the customers that I've been talking to, we are not seeing any reduction in the digital transformation agenda. If anything, there's an acceleration to it. Before, call centers trying to leverage things like conversational AI was a good forward-thinking innovation project, or businesses trying to do more remote, workforce sort of support. That was a good idea. There's a small percentage of the workforce that want to work that way. E-commerce was a minority of the revenue. All three of those are now a matter of survival. Those aren't nice to haves. There's a whole new way of working. And most of us were given days and maybe a week or two to entirely move a workforce to a remote environment. The pace of the change is unfathomable. And so responsiveness, the ability to move quickly, change and adapt and iterate, it's created a whole new sort of metric. Agility might be the name of the game moving forward. And then layer on top of that one more element, that software, the traditional approaches we've all used, although they'll continue, you see that the pace of sort of hand coding and waterfall, even agile processes are, like signing on to many point solutions. And many of our larger customers, it's hundreds and thousands of SaaS point solutions. Those can't keep up. They're not agile enough. And so, and this is where I do have great optimism for our category and our company. We were built for this moment. And I see that as an outsider. I still remember what it's like not to be with QuickBase, but I see the opportunity that this creates for all of us. I don't just mean QuickBase as employees in the company, but the community on our Empower event today and their extended builder network. And it is the platform that sort of gets beyond the challenges of massive hand-coded deployments and runaway SaaS, portfolios of point solutions. It's a value that can be deployed quickly, even in as stringent environments people are in today. So that's a huge element. I think the second, this attests to sort of the attendees today in our event, that our aim and our real value really comes to the line of business. It's being loved by the people who no longer have to take no, who no longer have to sit by and wait for their chance to get some resources in IT or development, that they can move quickly and respond to the kind of dramatic change we're seeing today because they can build it themselves. They're closest to the business. They know the problems, and they're empowered to do that with our platform. And I love, the simplification of the UI. Some of the things that are going to be covered today by you and the team I think, speak deeply to like how we're continuing to push on that agenda. At the same time, something that was started several years ago, and we're really starting to see the benefits, is we realize IT is a critical part of this whole buying team. It's a critical part of how we deliver value. And our investments and our effort to increase our scalability, our security, something near and dear, obviously, to my heart, and spent most of my career there. And just even our governance of how they can not see us as a part of shadow IT, but as a solution to shadow IT. That's another element of why I think we really have an opportunity uniquely to, even beyond the other players in the sort of the low code, no code space, something we're capable of balancing, loved by business, but trusted by IT. And then finally, the most inclusive community in software. And this is our aspiration. And again, as the events of the last couple of weeks remind us, we have a long way to go as a company, as a community, as a nation. What we really believe, though, is the more people, as you used the language earlier, Jay, of going to the edge. Innovation shouldn't be reserved to a handful that we're fortunate enough or we're able to study IT and coding and development in college, but people are empowered closest to the business. They may be in finance, they may be in accounting, they may be just out of college, but there's so much power that they can have in their hands and be a part of the innovation agenda and making companies operate and compete better. That's our mission and aim, to continue to support that and grow that inclusive community. But I think there's also, this isn't a start. I mean, I want to sort of cover a couple of things. As we said, we have many of our companies that this phasing of how we get back to the future of work is already well underway. And one of the things that really did, it for me, pulled me in early as I was starting to talk about the opportunity of joining QuickBase, was how quickly the organization responded with real apps for first responders and municipalities and people closest to this What in March was this exploding new issue that nobody had any process around, knowledge about, and released many free apps that people could just get in to try to be helpful. I love that immediate response. And now, and I can't wait, and shortly we'll hear from some of our customers about how they're also looking at returning to work and how they're looking at things now as we think about our facilities and cleaning our facilities and PPE and who has it and who doesn't, and how do we think about staging. And there's so much, again, all new processes. None of this existed before. And I think our platform, there's so many ways that you'll see how people are using us for this. The thing that inspires me, the thing that I think I get real excitement around and why this will be a sustained effort for us is this is also the catalyst for how work is just done differently moving forward. I mean, Jay, your team was already very comfortable with tools like Slack and, working in a collaborative environment. I think other parts of the organization maybe were less so. Now we have nearly an entire organization that's very, very savvy in how to use that to collaborate as a tool, and even using some of our own QuickBase applications to connect it to document workflows and digital signatures. And it really has allowed us to start to understand what's possible and seeing our customers do the same. That's where I think this is that trigger event that changes things. So
Absolutely.
You'll see us lean in. I mean, as the whole company, this shaping the future of business back to the future of work. This is not necessarily a short-term marketing campaign or sales promo or just a feature announcement. It's all of that and much more, because we think this is one about the agility platform, and a lot of what we'll talk about today is how we're doing that around, sort of the more complex applications, making them easier to use for the end users and the builders with great new sort of dashboards and tables, and how we can allow IT to more quickly leverage this and feel comfortable and scale with this. It's also about governance, how they can get comfortable that we're building apps and a platform that can allow people to quickly respond either where they are on that journey of quick back to work or long-term business change. Access to expertise. This, again, is not about only us. We see this as much about this entire community today, that, quick starts and best practices, and we've dialed up our 24/7 care as of last December. There's a lot more that we want to bring to bear on these transforming work problems. And finally, community, and just the power of our partners, the power of community source solutions, the power of sharing information and knowledge about people are getting after these. There is a spoiler alert. I won't say the details. I'll let you cover it in a little bit, but we really are going to put our money where our mouth is, as we say. We're going to look at having a QuickBase, future of work application contest, a development contest, an appathon with real legit prize money, sort of six-figure sort of prize money. So we'll talk about that later, but just to sort of teaser that. I'll finish with this. We are not becoming a COVID response company per se, but we do see how we help and how we empower you, more importantly, to help your teams, your departments, your companies, your industries get back to a whole new way of working is a mission for us. And you'll see all of us leaning in heavily to support you on that. So I want to leave it with that, Jay, and then jump more into as always, our customers are ahead of us. And I think you want to share some great stories of theirs.
Awesome. Ed, thank you so much. Welcome to QuickBase on behalf of the entire community. It's great to have you have an opportunity to meet with everybody. And I think your perspective on helping us galvanize on recognizing that our moment really is now, and that we can help the world, as a community, as a company, as a product, get back to the future work is just so compelling. So welcome, and thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you, Jay.
Awesome. Have a great rest of Empower. So as Ed describes, we have a view on how QuickBase can help the world get back to the future work. But in fact, it really is driven by what we see in the community each and every day. You are leading from the front. And to talk a little bit about what I see when I talk to customers very briefly about how you're all managing and adapting and why QuickBase is so important in terms of this time and now is really three core imperatives that you're all talking about to me. One is time matters. No longer can you have timelines that are months, quarters, years. Problems are being presented to you that you need solutions to in days, in hours. QuickBase can help there. Second, details really matter. We have processes that are getting stood up, that are getting adapted on an hourly, on a daily basis, and your ability to get software that tunes into the exact
mapping to what the workflow needs to be now and an hour from now and 5 hours from now is really, really key. So that flexibility to be able to adapt to details in real time, very, very key, core to what QuickBase delivers. And third, connections matter. This is about connecting systems. You can't have siloed data and try to respond to the world as it is and as it will be. And you need a world where you're connecting people. You need lots of hands in the pile. They have to be working together to coordinate. How are you as an organization going to get back to the future that you're encountering? How are you going to deliver a future experience for your customers and your stakeholders? These are the imperatives that I see time and time again when I talk to customers. And to talk a little bit more about how we see this reality landing in the real world, I'd like to invite 3 customers on the stage briefly. We are going to do a customer panel. Because it's virtual, I'd like to do it as a brief one-on-one kind of lightning round of interviews, if that's all right. I just think it makes things simpler in a virtual context. And so I'd now like to welcome to the stage Nate Greenberg, Director of Information Technology at the County of Mono, California. Nate, welcome to Empower.
Hi, Jay, and hi, QuickBase community. Big congratulations for pulling off this event. It's great to see. I would have rather had my first Empower in San Diego with you all, but it's an honor and a pleasure to be here today and be part of this event. So thanks.
Awesome. It's great to have you. I mean, it's really funny. You know, you can kind of plan for every contingency. They've just started doing a bunch of tree stump grinding outside my window. So if that changes the sound, that was one contingency I didn't plan for. But in any case, you do the best you can.
That's the future of work.
It is the future of work, indeed. You can only plan for so much. Nate, it's great to have you here. Tell us a little bit about your work as the Director of Information Technology at the County of Mono and how QuickBase fits in.
Sure, yeah. So for those of you who are not familiar with Mono County, California, we're a small frontier county in the eastern part of the state. We're wedged right up against the Nevada border, about 3 hours south of Reno, 6 hours north of San Diego in the beautiful mountains. We're a resort-based community, home to Mammoth Mountain Ski Area, for those of you who aren't familiar. And so while we're small in terms of demographics, we have a lot of demand on us from an organizational standpoint. And whether that's residential or commercial development, or providing community-based services, we come to work every day to serve our customers as our staff, and certainly as an extension of our communities. So I have an incredible team that are responsible for technology across both organizations, ranging from general services and internal services to emergency services. And we literally support everything from email on the desktop to 911, communication services, and everything in between. Do a tremendous amount of work in emergency services and disaster response, and certainly that's pulled us a lot into COVID over the last couple of months. As a director, I have a challenge of kind of not only keeping abreast of technology and the emerging nature of platforms and how applications can be used in everyday environment, and really what the best practices of those things are, but really being able to do that implementation quickly and effectively. And it's challenging because there's a lot of different tools in the chest, and certainly we have a lot of things to choose from, and we need to recognize sort of what's best, and each one has its own time and place. And so, for me, the bottom line really is that technology is cross-cutting. Really, it helps to connect us and improve our operations as organizations, solve complex problems like Ed was talking about, and really ultimately better serve our customers. And so I place a tremendous value on software and platforms that allow my team to deliver high quality products for our customers and do so in a timely manner while being cost sensitive. And quite honestly, QuickBase fits that description really well. And so I'm a big believer in the platform.
Awesome. Would love to hear how you use QuickBase and how in particular it's been useful as you've sort of adapted to the new realities that you all are going through.
Sure. So we've been a customer for a little over 5 years now. I purchased it originally to help with some basic project management within my team. We're sort of in this weird spot where we need a little bit more than the most basic PM solutions out there, and certainly not the most complex. And what I noticed really quickly while I started to work in QuickBase was it was very adaptable. I have a background in GIS and can write some basic code and certainly know my way around database, but I'm not a coder from the modern sense. And to actually work with somebody who is going to be developing things for me as I was articulating them just wasn't really practical. And what I learned is that it was extremely powerful and nimble and really easy for us to develop what we needed Clearly, there's a very large user base, huge support network. It's flexible and extensible, and so it just made sense. And really, I gradually started to kind of grow the application base that we were running there, and built a small application to help track budget and manage assets. And about a year ago, we had a need to transition away from our existing ticketing and work management system, and I made the decision to bring us into QuickBase. And we basically are now integrating our ticket and support desk system, our project management, our budget, license and cost allocation, and our time tracking all under one umbrella within the application. It really provides an exceptional value for us. There's a common business application that we can all see. I've got all the reporting and analytics that I could ask for, and it really has just been extremely valuable, and I think overall extremely important for the team. And so when COVID struck, we were asked to do two things very quickly. The first was to transition our entire workforce to remote, and the second was to support our emergency operations center. And one of the first things they asked for was a common application that everyone could access that would provide full visibility and transparency around event management. And so it just made perfect sense to kind of look toward QuickBase to be that platform to develop it.
Great. Excellent. Well, Nate, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your experience with QuickBase. I'm thrilled to hear that it's a tool that's been able to grow with you and adapt in these really challenging times. And I wish you and the rest of your team a very safe and healthy summer as an organization, but also as a county.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Nate. Have a great Empower.
Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to welcome Bruce Squibb, Director of the IFM program at Able Services. Bruce, welcome.
Hey, Jane, great to be with you again.
Great to see you again. Yeah, thank you so much. Able Services, certainly a high-profile showcase customer and sort of right in the wheelhouse of a lot of the challenges going on today around COVID. Tell the audience a little bit about your work at Able and how QuickBase fits in.
Yeah, so at Able, we've been using QuickBase now for almost 4 years. Obviously, I've used QuickBase over 10 years in the facilities maintenance world. At Able Services, we've got, thousands of customers across the country and tens of thousands of employees out on the front line cleaning and operating the buildings. So for us, we needed a platform, a digital platform of technology that supports the programs that we're using to run the buildings. And so we've used QuickBase for that, and it's really worked out very well for us and our customers. As it relates to COVID-19 and really how we're using it to kind of get back to work and kind of combat the whole virus. We've really kind of built 4 applications. Our first one was really an incident reporting application where we could track kind of what was happening with our staff, with the buildings that we're running. Where was there an outbreak? Where was there a situation that our staff needed to be aware of to be kept safe? And we needed that quickly. We needed that turned around ASAP. And we already had a digital incident report that was a PDF form, but we wanted to be able to digitize it and make it more of an interactive database. And so, we reached out to one of your gold sponsors, Advantage Integrated Solutions, and Scott Wyatt and Ashley Harris really did a fantastic job, helping us turn that application around pretty much overnight, from a paper-based PDF form that was used in a static version out in the field to a digitized version using their form engine technology. So our folks in the field literally didn't see a difference other than the fact they were still filling out an editable PDF. But when they saved it, I had instant access to all the data from across the country, and my team and I could build the reports that were needed for leadership and for our clients and everyone that was involved.
That's fantastic. A great example of how you get the data, how you get the workflow adapted to the exact detailed thing you need, and you can do it so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the other things that we've done with QuickBase is we've built a digital resource library. So now that our teams are kind of going back into these buildings and they're cleaning and doing an infection control, they have all of their resources, all their safety data sheets, their PPE, everything that they need, the training, the certification, available right through QuickBase. In addition to that, we've built an innovation tracking system where we're able to vet technology that our customers and clients can use And we've kind of built a showroom, if you will, of technology within QuickBase. So there's a platform where they can get access to that information. And then lastly, what we've done to get our folks back to work with the new CDC guidelines for symptom monitoring and health screening for staff before they go back into the building, we've built on QuickBase Mobile an entirely mobile form that our folks are able to use to check the symptoms of our staff and others coming into the building. So QuickBase has really played a vital role for us as we've kind of dealt with the ramping up and now kind of the mitigation and now kind of getting back to work and propelling into what the new future is going to look like.
Oh, that's fantastic. Bruce, thank you for sharing this story. And I'm really glad to hear that you've been able to adapt so quickly across such a breadth of your organization, solving problems really critical to being able to protect your employees, but also be able to serve your customers as those facilities and those organizations that support them seek to get back to a safe and productive workflow. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm thrilled that we've been able to work with you and that Scott and others have been able to partner with you to deliver robust solutions so quickly.
Absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks. Have a great Empower. And lastly, I'd like to welcome from Southwest Airlines, Jana Baker, Analyst Metrics and Reporting at Southwest. Jana, welcome.
Hi, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Excellent. So we'd love to hear a little bit about your role with QuickBase at Southwest Airlines and how Southwest Airlines is using QuickBase to adapt in what's got to be just a tremendously tumultuous and disruptive time for your organization.
All right. So I'm the product owner of QuickBase and currently trying to stand up some governance around the tool and also a community of interest. So we are very interested in seeing what our users are interested in learning from QuickBase. Another thing is we've got probably about 1,700 applications going on right now and 17,000 users. So you can see why we might need some guardrails around the tool and some increased responsibility as well.
Right.
With regards to the COVID aspects, we've got a lot of things kind of going on right now. We've got probably about 10 to 12 applications that spun up really quick. We've got 3 that are probably pretty interesting. So I'd like to kind of tell you about those.
Oh, please do.
A PPE tracking app. That one tracks our gloves, face masks, hand sanitizer, face guards. That pretty much tracks it for our crew, our facilities, all of headquarters, all of our stations. And it's really been able to give us some agility and some streamlining to all, and it actually consolidates a lot of stuff because there's a lot of QuickBase apps that spin up around the stations and everything. And so they knew there was a need to consolidate it into one application. Another one is from I think it's safety and security. So it's for all of our employees to call in if they come in contact with the virus at all. They basically call in on a hotline, and if it basically tracks if they've, where they've been, how long, have they had the virus? Have they been quarantined? Do they need to be quarantined? It also tracks our pilots and our flight attendants. And so have they flown together? How long were they together? How close contact were they? Were they up front flight attendant? Were they in the rear flight attendant? So they weren't by the person who was, affected. So there's like a lot of things that go into account with these situations. So it's got the ability to track each one of these situations, and then calls are made to these people, and just to make sure that everybody's taken care of in that situation. So these things,
details are just amazingly tight level of attention to detail needed for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and we got the reporting and analytics that go up to leadership as well. So we just make care of our employees.
Excellent. Yeah, no, it's a really quite a story, and it reinforces a lot of what these themes reinforce. A lot of what I hear from customers around just the insanely short timelines that are needed for solutions to be built, the level of depth and attention to detail that's required, and they need to be able to connect systems and be able to provide reports that cross different boundaries of the organization. Jana, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great Empower. I wish you and everybody at Southwest the very best in these trying times.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So as you can see, our customers are really showcasing sort of what some of the early threads of getting back to the future work might look like, of this idea of being able to move faster, of being able to connect systems, of being able to really deliver detail-oriented workflows that are digitized. And that really informs how I think about and how our product organization thinks about what's the technical foundation that we've got to move forward to deliver in terms of our product to be able to meet and support our customers as they seek to get back to the future of work. And it really comes down and continues to come down to three fundamental pillars of value that we're focused on. One is trust, always focusing on raising the bar on performance, increasing the governance so we can earn greater trust with IT, bolstering security, continuing to be industry leading and setting the standard for security around low code application platforms, all really important. Second is simplifying our platform, making it more approachable for users, for builders, for partners. We need to make it easy and approachable to use through a modern experience, one that really treats mobile like a first-class citizen. Very important priority, huge amount of focus here, lots of announcements for us to get into as we get into the keynote. And third, power. Being able to provide more capabilities for your builders and your organization to build solutions that fundamentally extend and enable your business to take advantage of more data and more systems across your organization. This is about integration capabilities. It's about the APIs. And if you like formulas, if you find value in formulas, you're going to love some of the announcements we have late in this keynote. But to start off, I want to start with trust. I want to dive in specifically to performance. I will often say, or quote Napoleon, the general from France, that an army marches on its stomach. And what that means to me in the context of QuickBase is the performance of the platform is the core foundational attribute that we must always be raising the bar on. In other words, if you're looking to build a dashboard or a report, or you're trying to get a form filled out and the performance isn't up to snuff, if it's slow, then everything else after that doesn't really work. The dashboards are not interesting. The integrations, the workflow that gets automated is not as useful if the performance doesn't keep up. And so this is something that we've invested a great deal of time and energy to take what's already a groundbreakingly fast, highly performant database platform and continuing to raise the bar. Very important priority to us. To talk a little bit more about how he's driving the team to help raise the bar, I'd like to welcome to the stage now, Senior Product Manager from QuickBase, Harrison Hirsch. Bump-a-da-dum-ba-da-dum-bump. Bump-a-da-dum-ba-da-dum-bump. Harrison, welcome.
Hey, Jay, thanks for having me.
It's great to have you as always.
Intro.
Yeah, absolutely. You wanted walk-up music, you're getting walk-up music.
Yeah, so I, you guys that know me know I could dork out on this topic for a really long time. We're going to try and keep it short and sweet to kick things off this year. Last year I got to share with all of you guys that were with us at Empower some of the really cool things that QuickBase does under the covers that's just really special, right? That really cool in-memory database. And when I left the stage, I promised everyone that we were on the verge of basically another 10% improvement across the board, which means 10% across all 1.6 billion requests that we get every month. And that 10%, the way that you guys get that is you don't apply any patches, you don't compile any code, you don't deal with any merge conflicts. You just basically wake up to a faster QuickBase.
Yeah, no performance optimizations needed, yep.
Yeah, it's great. Year over year, just January to January, to share some of our internal stats, we were 20% as far as just January 2020 over January 2019. And what's really cool is that we did this while folks were building the most complex apps that the platform's ever seen. So it's actually comparative, including the apps that are now more complex than they were a year ago. So the apps are more complex. We have had an app hit 50,000 fields in one table. And it's just crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. We're
not encouraging everyone to go do that. Right. We did come alongside and offer some help there, but that's that's just really speaks to the power of the platform.
Well, particularly as we assert that more details are going to matter, more connections are going to matter. This reinforces all about why this foundation has to be. We always have to be raising the bar. Otherwise, we can't meet customers where they're going to need to be.
Yeah, that's right. Totally. And, individual applications and customer accounts are seeing more user traffic than we've ever seen. And we have many customers that now have multi-gigabyte tables that, we're growing the size on the ecosystems. It's super powerful. And, we know a lot of the QuickBase builders out there love peeking behind the curtain. So we actually have a quick hit that is going to be run by Brian Caffarelli. Many of you guys know him, and he's going to share just kind of some of the cool things that we've done. It's a short session, and just kind of share some of that, provide some of that transparency. And that's all on the software side. We also, on the data center and hardware side, increased our compute capacity by about 125%. So all of that again, is just happening totally transparently. Someone spins up an app and boom, they're just given more power than they were the last time. And the way that we think about that, kind of like you alluded to, Jay, of course we all love, Sunday morning after our releases, a lot of us check our logs and we say, is this faster than it was the day before? And that's always fun to see. But what's really powerful is that the investments that we make in performance are really just raising the ceiling on what the other teams can deliver inside of QuickBase for all of our builders. And it raises the ceiling on what you all can do. So, if you think about that, we have brand new APIs that, are processing thousands of records. We have dashboards going across applications and column filters on a table report on millions of records. Those things are really only possible as we work really closely with those teams to raise the bar. So
right, because we don't want you experiencing the beach ball effect of just waiting and waiting and waiting. So really important work. And Harrison, so thankful that you with the work that you and the team are providing here, because it really is the foundation upon which everything else stands. That's
right. And I think, think about that as, throughout these demos that we're going to see today, you'll kind of see and hear a little bit of that woven throughout as we add sophistication to QuickBase. We're really just making it faster, not only so that we're getting ahead of capacity and the power that to drive all the cool things you guys are going to throw at it, but we want to be able to answer the most complex questions for you guys that we've ever seen. So
awesome. Well, Harrison, thank you very much. I'm very thrilled to have you represent this work, because I know often our engineers working on making the platform faster are often unsung because it's not out in front. It's not a great new UI whiz-bangy thing, but so important and so foundational. So thank you and the team for the hard work there. Have a great one. Harrison, bye-bye. All right. We're doing walk-up music. We couldn't get it with the band, so I was nominated as the guy who sort of made up walk-up music for the teams. And I think I might cut the walk-off music. That takes too much work. All right, next up, governance. So governance is an area that we see as a big area, a core area of trust. And it's actually one that I believe that we have led for years. We have a product that has field and user level permissions, very, very flexible levels of being able to govern individual apps for sure. The challenge then can become, what happens when you take QuickBase and really try to expand it to be something that you use as a utility and a strategic platform across your entire organization? In that regard, we acknowledge that we have been making long-term investments across our product, across our expertise, and ultimately in partnership with customers, processes that get into place to really deliver a much richer level of governance capabilities. So in the product, that includes anything from our audit capabilities, our advanced encryption, the user management work that we've put into place, the user tokens, those sorts of capabilities put in place to drive improvements to governance. The recently launched sandbox feature enabling change and control management for applications, also really important. The expertise that we can provide our customers, whether it's in the form of onboarding and orientation services, whether it's a quick start, if you want to have our people work side by side with you to get that first application stood up and built, whether it's us working with you on different best practices, what that all enables you to do with us, with our partners, is establish a process, a practice in your organization that enables you to look at QuickBase, that looks at the opportunity to do innovation at the edge with citizen development at scale. This kind of flexible governance is something that's really important. We've been heavily invested in it. It's an area that we think we're leading because of our experience and our product set, but it's an area that I see as a very important step for further innovation. And in that regard, I'm happy to announce today a new set of innovation that we're going to demo today for the first time and plan to release in the future around platform insights. Platform insights is really important to our customers because builders, IT admins, organizations want to know, what apps in my organization are creating value for my business and impact in my business. And Platform Insights, the vision of what we aim to deliver here, is a much more robust set of analytics, data, and insight for you to get access and understanding of what is actually happening with respect to the applications that are existing in your organization. To talk to us more about what we're doing in this exciting area of our product, I'd like to welcome to the stage now Product Manager for QuickBase, John Karras. John, tiki, 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 tiki. All right, that's my reggae beat.
Hey Jay,
John,
how you doing?
I'm well, how are you?
Good, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on.
Good, well, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself. This is the first time you've been in the Empower Keynote. You are someone who's been at QuickBase for a number of years. You're working now on the data team. Would love to hear a little bit about how you got here.
Yeah, last year was my first Empower, and I got to be able to present at a session. So I got to really experience and meet a lot of our customers. I've been with QuickBase for a little over 2 years now, and I started off in our customer success organization where I worked as a data analyst. And my kind of goal there was to deliver insights to our customers and to our organization on everything related to how customers and our folks are using QuickBase.
Got it.
And I'm really now happy to be a part of the product group. And I'm actually representing folks that are building a behind the scenes, really powerful data platform. And this is really going to help us enable like the next level of features and next set of features for all of our customers. And I'm really happy to start, showing you and talking a little bit more.
You want me to stop by share so you can share your slides on that?
Sure, sure. So you guys should all now be able to see a PowerPoint I have here. And the first feature that we're going to be building off of our data platform is all about data insights. This is going to enable our admins to be able to efficiently govern and understand their entire QuickBase ecosystem. It's going to give you overall level insight on all your apps, all your users, all your interconnections. It's going to also allow you the flexibility, though, to drill into those detailed, granular level components so you can slice and dice things the way you want. And lastly, you're going to be able to see trends over time. This is something that I've heard a lot of feedback from on customers, and I'm really happy to, kind of bring some of those capabilities to the forefront.
Great.
So enough with the slides though, Jay. What do you say?
Totally.
Should we jump into a demo?
I'm dying to get to a demo.
Okay, great. So here you'll see we're in the admin console, and we actually are going to be adding a new tab called Platform Insights. This is an overview page that is focused on some of the major metrics that our admins care about. Now, some are going to be familiar, and some are going to be pretty new, like the daily app users metric. Jay, this one's probably new to you, right?
Well, tell me what it is.
Yeah.
I think I know what that is, but you tell me.
Yeah, this is going to measure the number of people that go into each app each day.
Okay.
So if I go into 5 apps today, I would count as 5 daily app users.
Gotcha.
And the reason this is an important metric and really valuable is it can really help you understand things at a high level.
Yep.
But then you can drill into things at a low level to understand what's going on with your QuickBase ecosystem. To show you what I mean, we're going to go ahead and click the View Detailed Report button. And this is going to take us to a simple yet really powerful and interactive page. To show you what I mean, I'm going to go through a couple components. The first area that you're looking at here is our trend chart. Now, this is going to show you insights on that specific metric aggregated across your entire ecosystem of apps, entire ecosystem of users.
Yep. So kind of like a Google Analytics for your users and for your apps.
Yeah, exactly. We've had customers that are kind of, we've made them jump through hoops a little bit to kind of get some of these broad level insights. So we wanted to simplify that and give you a way here to see everything. This is showing you your number of daily app users each day. At the bottom here, we have our data details report, which is going to give you groupings by app, by user, or you can see each user in each app and kind of see their activity.
Gotcha.
By default, we're going to be showing you your top apps sorted by that metric. So for example, if I wanted to look at our project management app, we can select that. And now you can see and experience really that app's activity over time. You can see here that on Wednesday, April 15th, we had 45 users go into that app. Now this is going to be, really, really helpful, especially as we have folks launching apps and really trying to assess app adoption over time.
Totally, because you want to know that when you make a tweak or you change something based on the input that users had, did it have any impact? Did people use it more? Were they more satisfied? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You can also select multiple things at once. If you wanted to do some ad hoc comparisons, for example.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Maybe you want to be comparing, hey, where should our builders and developers be spending more time? Do we want to spend it in the apps where we might not have as many people, or should we spend it in apps that are having a lot of traction? So you can really quickly and flexibly kind of see that up here. Another thing that we enabled is the ability to kind of expand and hone in on specific timeframes. So for example, if you wanted to, make that chart bigger, you can do that with that drop down. And also if you wanted to zone in on a specific time frame, you can do that a couple different ways. You have your date picker up here, which is pretty standard. I think a lot of our users are going to be familiar with that.
For sure.
You also have the slider bar, which I think is pretty cool. You can slide it. You can slide it over here. And you can see that chart is going to update and show you only that time frame. You can move it around so you can get different time frames. And another thing this is my favorite part of it too, is you're able to highlight and specifically kind of click and drag into specific areas that you want to laser in on.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, you get a lot of functionality in here, and we're really trying to make this a flexible, kind of powerful zone for our admins.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like you're well on the way. This is super useful. When is this going to be available, John?
Good question, Jay. We're looking to make this available in a beta experience in Q3 2020. Our team's really hard at work on it.
Later this summer,
and then we're going to be looking to take it GA shortly after that.
Great.
Before we wrap up, I do want to show you two more things.
Okay, great.
To get our other people excited.
Please do.
In addition to being able to slice things by app, you can see things by user as well. So if I click Dan here, similar experience, you can see how many apps Dan has been going into each day. So you can see on April 28th, he went into 7 apps. So this can kind of help you understand how ingrained in the QuickBase ecosystem is he,
Right. And why, is there a role he's doing, and what's it about the apps that he's using? Yeah, totally. Great.
And lastly, down here, you can see specific users in specific apps. I've heard so many customers asking for this in both of my roles as a customer success analyst, as a product manager. And I'm really happy to kind of help show some of these things where, for example, if we wanted to look at Diego and see how much he's been using the performance management app, you can come over here and see, we have about 3 months displayed, roughly 90 days. You can see, okay, he had a stretch where he was going in there every day. Looks like he didn't go in there on Saturday the 25th. So you can quickly see, who might have been affected by a change that you had, who's really, making this app part of their daily routine. So it can be very helpful.
For sure. Absolutely. I can totally see. And it's providing and surfacing this data over time in a robust way that I think our builders and our community is going to find so valuable, because again, it borrows a lot from what product managers go through all the time. You make an update to technology or software and you want to know, did it have any impact? Was it something that my users wanted? And providing this in a really rich and easy to use way is something I think is really important. One last thing that I think is really important for us to call out, John, we don't have anything to announce on it today, but it is really important to acknowledge that you and the team building the platform upon which these capabilities are being shown really provides the foundation for us to start putting into place some of the AI, some of the machine learning capabilities that we have on kind of our longer term roadmap. Would you like to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, that's exactly right. The data platform that our team is building is really meant to bring kind of a whole new set of features and also enable us to tackle that AI and ML realm. Those feel like buzzwords to a lot of us, and I certainly know that. When I like to think about AI and how it can help our QuickBase customers, there's really a few ways that I think we can best do that. It's all about building better and faster apps, with less clicks. How can we help you build better apps? It's about creating better reports and charts. How can we get those charts and that data richer for you? And then it's also about simplifying the way you access and find the information you're looking for. You can see here we're starting with that third bullet point of simplifying the information and helping you get that. So I'm really, really excited about that.
John, this is a great thing to showcase for our users. I know that many, just watching the chat over the last 5 minutes, many are going to want to reach out, ask questions, understand more, give feedback. How can they engage with you and the team over the next 2 days at Empower?
Absolutely. This is really the main thing that we're looking for. We are really open to feedback, and we are looking to really expand, understand where our customers want to have more things, what they like, what they don't like. And also, one of the most important things is the ability to add more metrics. You'll see here, I just clicked this metric drop down. We want to continue hearing from you, what areas we can add in. What's the next metric? What are the other insights that we want to be able to deliver to you guys? To find me and my team, we are going to be in the product demo area, and come stop by the Platform Insights booth. We'd love to get your feedback, and we have some takeaway demos, live demos, and also materials for you. So thanks so much for having me today, and looking forward to the rest of Empower.
Awesome. John, thanks for this great presentation, and team, thanks for all the hard work on this. Really, really exciting for our community to be able to announce Platform Insights, and just so thrilled with the hard work and the fast delivery of technology that you guys have been able to deliver. Thank you. All right. So that was Platform Insights. That was our first demo, and I'm going to call us for intermission right now. We're at about the halfway point. I can assure you if that got you interested, and it looked like in the chat there was a lot of interest, I can tell you the back half is going to be absolutely a barn burner. So we are really excited that you're here. We hope you've enjoyed the first act of our Empower keynote. We're now going to take a brief 5-minute-ish intermission. Please get up, walk around, grab yourself a refreshment. We're going to have the band take over for a few minutes, and we'll see you in about 5. All right? Thanks.
All right. Pie charts and graphs. Oh my. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, say. Everyone can see we're together as we walk on by, and we fly just like birds of a feather. I won't tell no lie. All other people around us to say, can we be that close? Just let me sing for the record. We're giving love in a family dose. We are family. Hey, I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, sing. We are family. Hey, I got all my brothers with me. Sing. We are family. Get up, everybody, sing. All right, Boston, this is for you. Where it began, I can't begin to know it, but then I know we're growing strong. Was it the spring came a summer, who'd have believed you'd come along? Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe you never would. So now I look at the night, and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, burden runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? Warm, touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Oh no, no. I know you all are singing along out there. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. One more time. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Oh, sweet Caroline. Mr. J. Jamison.
So good, so good, so good. Hope you guys had a good intermission. Hope you guys liked a little Sweet Caroline. Felt like a great nod to our Boston Red Sox and everybody in Boston. All right, I'm going to jump right back in because we've got a ton to cover, and I just can't hold myself back anymore. So next up, we talked about trust. We talked about platform insights. Wonderful demo from John Karras. Wonderful discussion about our performance increases. You know, we look at, you know, simplicity, ease of use, approachability is really core to what it is that we're doing to help the world get back to the future of work. To be a broad scale, high impact platform that you and your users can depend on, you need a modern, delightful experience. And this is an area of massive investment and focus for the team and for me. We see this as really critical. There's a lot about QuickBase that users tell us is, hey, it's really easy to use. I love that I can spin stuff up really quickly. My users like being able to get the insight. But we know that there's the opportunity to take it to a much higher level. And with regard to that, this has become an area of key focus, and we've got a number of really exciting product announcements to show. But because this is such a large and strategic focus for us, I wanted to start by welcoming to the stage Manager of Interaction Design, Lisa Sawyer. Lisa, Please join us. Bump, 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 bump. Lisa, welcome.
Hi, Jay. Good afternoon. It's so exciting to be here.
It's great to have you here. So you've been in with QuickBase for a few years. Please tell us a little bit about it's your first time on the Empower Keynote experience. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience in interaction design.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I've been in the user experience industry for over 20 years now. And I've been with QuickBase for 4 of them. And I gotta say, every day I work with such great people and the product is so powerful. I literally learn something new every day. So it's a very exciting place to be.
Yeah, and so we're embarking on this very large scale opportunity and strategic effort to rework and update our user experience. Can you talk a little bit about how we're going about it, what the principles are involved?
Oh yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, and I think I'm very excited about our really tight cross-functional team that I'm working with. I have other leads that work with me from engineering and PM, Nick Banzlow and Harrison Hirsch, who you've already seen on the stage today.
2 fantastic professionals. Yep.
Yeah, and the goals we're all working towards is really having the greatest impact for their customers, like the quickest possible way that we can. And really having a really close eye on modern engineering and modern user experience along with that. And with that at the heart of it, we kind of have 3 key principles that we're keeping in mind. The first one is really having a modern and delightful user experience, as you talked about in my lead up. But really having a mobile, really paying attention to that mobile experience at the heart of it. And side note, starting today, mobile offline data entry is in GA. So if you don't already use our mobile experience, check that out now. And if you already do, check it out. There's some goodies in there for you starting today.
Yeah, really important for our users that have field workers that have intermittent access to internet or connectivity. So thrilled to have that in general availability. Thank you for making that.
Yeah, sure. The other 2 principles that we're really keeping in mind is, again, we're iteratively releasing this stuff, so you won't have to wait for a big bang at the end of the year or at the end of 3 years. It's really being released feature by feature, so you can really we can get feedback from you all, and you can all experience and see if we're on the right track. And the last principle that we're really working with is delivering upgrades and improvements without the need to rebuild your apps. So you will have access to all this great stuff, but you won't have to rebuild any applications along the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. To me, requirement number 1 is around app compatibility. Ensure that you kind of first do no harm and don't cause somebody that has something to work to change things just to get access. That's great. Tell me a little bit about often with design and UI style work, it's often the beauty's in the eye of the beholder. How do you know, how are we as a team going about ensuring that what we're delivering is meeting the needs of our customers and isn't just kind of a feel type of experience?
Oh yeah, that's very important. Thank you for that question. I think we really have a couple of goals around that. With really delivering the biggest impact, we're doing a couple of different things. One of is we're really utilizing our extensive early access program. We've had this going for a while now, but we're really relying on this now, especially because we're upgrading so many things. This is a great opportunity for customers to give us feedback, so we ensure that we're on the right path, again, all along the way. And something else we're doing is we're implementing a new analytics right into the product so we can see how people are using things, and it also gives us another opportunity to get feedback from customers directly. So bottom line is we want to know what you think, all the customers out there, what do you think as we're going? So we can really, it's not our judgment of beauty in the beholder, it's really from our customers' perspective.
Great, awesome. And how, given that we've been on this journey now for several months, as a professional, what are some of your thoughts on how we're doing?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I think again, this really tight alignment with the cross-functional team and with the other leads that I'm working with, it's really a refreshing approach to something of this scale. And again, this practical approach, this getting stuff out as quickly as possible instead of the big bang, that's something else that's very exciting. And again, this measuring it just to make sure that we are on the right track and really getting feedback from our customers. those three things really make me so excited for where we're going to go with this and where we're going to be in, 3 to 5 years time. Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Lisa, I couldn't agree more. I mean, watching you and Nick in product development and Harrison in product management work so closely together is not only, I think, leading to just sort of better decisions, but I think it's getting our engine of innovation moving forward in a faster way on this regard. And that's so important because what we deliver now is going to be great, but it is going to be a journey that we have to continue going on to continue to make our experience delightful, to make it modern, to make it world-class. So thank you, Lisa, for taking time to share with us a little bit about the approach we're taking to this very important work. Have a great rest of Empower.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So as much as I enjoy talking to Lisa about the approach that we're taking with refreshing our UI, making it more modern and delightful as an experience, I like even more showing it. So the table report, a major area, major piece of surface area in the QuickBase experience for you and for your users. This is an area that we've had intense focus, and I'm very excited to welcome to the stage now for her first time in an Empower keynote, product manager for QuickBase, Alice Hinshaw. Alice, welcome. Alice, welcome.
Thank you so much, Jay. That intro was so musical.
Thank you. I don't know about that. You're a musician, I know, but I'm doing the best I can here with difficulties in a virtual
It was awesome.
environment. Thank you. So you are, while it's your first time in an Empower keynote, you are not a first time. You've been around QuickBase for some time in some great customer-facing roles. You're someone with some great expertise. Please tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your background at QuickBase.
Sure. So I started at QuickBase just about 3 years ago, actually almost 3 years ago exactly. My 3-year anniversary is coming up on the 5th. But I've had a few different roles over the years, as you mentioned. I started initially in our care team where I got to solve real customer problems every day, which I loved. It also helped me get to know QuickBase really deeply, really quickly. A little bit of a trial by fire situation, but it was so valuable. Then I moved into our customer success organization, working in orientation, helping our new customers get their first application stood up quickly, which was so rewarding. And then just after Empower last year, I started on the product team, and it's just been a blast so far.
Well, we've just been so thrilled to have you in the organization, and I'm so thrilled to hand over the share to you to show our audience what you've been working on for the last year. This is a really exciting set of stuff. So Alice, please take it away.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jay. All right. So since we announced the new table report on stage at Empower last year, we have come such a long way. To date, we've invited over 950 of you to participate in our early access program. And through that program, we've gotten a ton of awesome feedback that has really helped us shape the direction of the feature. So thank you to everyone who participated in that and submitted your feedback. It's really invaluable to us. Today, we want to take the next step in this journey. But before we do, I want to give everyone a closer look at the feature itself. So I switched displays here, Jay. You should see something this is not our new table report. Gotcha. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see this, and I'm glad you're telling me it's not our new table report.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our old table report experience. You can see that it's not the best looking report I've ever seen. I didn't do a great job as a builder choosing these colors for this color coding here. It's a little bit aggressive. I can't really read what's happening in some of these darker rows until I get kind of the hover color here. Yep. And I've got all this white space.
Color scheme.
It's a little bit much, but I've also got this white space over here, and it's not really doing much for me once I'm down below where my dynamic filters live up here. But luckily, there is a better way now. With this new style toggle right up here, I can enable our new table report experience, and let me just do that for us. Drum roll. All right.
I had to get your drum roll there.
That's okay. That was enough. Here we go. This is it. This is our new table report experience. The first thing that you'll notice are all of the numerous visual improvements we've made here. Our new color coding design is front and center here. It looks so clean. It looks so sleek.
Smooth. Yeah.
Yeah. Our goal was to make something that would help people who, like me, are not great at choosing color coding for their reports, make something that looks really awesome. And I think we've succeeded in that for sure.
Yeah.
We've also added in these vertical lines here for readability. And just as I'm saying that, let me make that a little wider. Oh.
Yes, that's so nice. Every time.
Such a small thing.
I'm so happy. Yep.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference though. No, absolutely. We've also been giving folks, now we have a few more options for you if you want to display your data in a different way. So if I go up here to the More menu, you can see we've got these new spacing options. So I can choose from 3 different options: relaxed, normal, or condensed. I'm going to go ahead and choose condensed. I want to see a little bit more data on my screen here. There we go. Everything looks a little tighter together now. Then, if you want to see more data still on your screen, you can just go up here to enter full screen mode. There we go. And we're really helping you maximize your screen real estate so you can focus on what's important to you. You might have noticed, Jay, also in all of my kind of scrolling around and navigating here to full screen, not full screen, I've had this pagination bar stuck to the bottom of my screen.
That's lovely. Yeah, it's really nice to see that, because I don't like having to search around for that. Like, how do I get around? This is what we mean when we talk about approachability. You want to be able to just get to the information you want.
Absolutely. That was one of my least favorite features. And I've just got news for everyone. This pagination bar, it's always going to be there. It's going to be there when you need it, stuck to the bottom of your screen, so you never have to scroll all the way to the bottom to get to your pagination controls ever again. So red letter day here. But I can actually, yeah, absolutely. I can actually interact with this in a couple cool ways. I can obviously press these arrows to go 1 page forward or backward, or I can press directly on one of these numbers if I want to go to a specific page that's kind of neighboring to one that I'm on, or I can type directly in here to go to a page that is a little bit further away. And kind of a neat trick, if I accidentally type in a page number that's way too big here, I don't have 9 million pages in this report.
But you could.
I could, but I don't, not in this one.
You can do that with QuickBase.
You absolutely can, but not here. Now we are smart enough to know the last available page of data for you, and we will redirect you there so you will always know where you are. So much more intuitive and much more powerful than anything we had before here.
Fantastic.
We've also been spending our time over the last few months building out features we know customers rely on in places like the More menu, up here on the table bar, and in the column menu as well.
Yeah.
To prioritize these, we tracked all of their usage, and we prioritized building the most used items first. So by a wide margin, Grid Edit and Save As Spreadsheet were our front runners here. And since we had that knowledge, we were actually able to take Save As Spreadsheet out from its home in the More menu on the old table report experience, give it its own new home on the table bar, and give it a little makeover. Now it's just represented by this Download Report as CSV icon.
It's just a great example of how we're using analytics to fuel the decisions that we're making, and just terrific fit and finish detail by you, Andrew Klepner, and the team. Just fantastic.
Yeah, the team really, truly knocked it out of the park on this one. We have an amazing team on this. Yep. But just with this, again, we really wanted to make it easier for users to get to the things that they do the most and that they find the most valuable. So absolutely. We've also, of course, got other critical interactions here like importing, print, email, find and replace, all that good stuff. And then as well in our column filters, grouping, hiding a column. You can see here with this add a column feature, we are not actually done adding in these critical pieces of functionality. And we didn't want you to have to guess what our next up items were. So we've indicated that in a few different places throughout the table report.
Nice.
We've also been really heavily focused the last year on adding in power to the new table report. In the old table report experience, you were only able to choose up to 5 fields that you wanted to filter on in your dynamic filters. And even that kind of came with a bunch of restrictions, like it had to be marked searchable, it had to have less than 200 options, and it had to be the right data type. It's kind of difficult. Yeah, it's difficult to know when you could or couldn't filter on something from both an end user and a builder perspective. But now, in the new table report, you can filter on virtually any field in your report with just the press of that button there that I did. Whoops, don't want to give myself away here. But you can see all of these different filters are available for you here. And let's just do a quick example. So say I want to filter here to see only blue records and orange records. And then we'll filter here to see where the animal name is, how about cat or dog or alligator. There we go. So even this strange search is totally a breeze with our new column filters.
Oh my gosh, this is so fantastic. And
yeah, we're really excited.
How do we get this?
It's a great question, Jay. I'm sure a lot of other folks are wondering. I almost gave it away earlier, but right now I am happy to announce that as of today, our new table reports are officially in open beta.
Oh my gosh. That is
probably fantastic. A new term.
Actually, tell us what open beta means.
I would love to, Jay. So open beta means that the feature, the new style toggle that I highlighted earlier, that's going to be present for all of our users in all of our table reports across the entire platform. So you can try out the new table report experience whenever you'd like.
Great. And you
We
don't
are
have to
so
change your
excited.
app or do anything. Again, getting back to the principle that we were talking about with Lisa earlier, so important.
Yep, just flip that switch and you'll have the new experience for sure. And open beta also means that we're not done developing the feature. We're still actively in development for this feature. So we are looking for your feedback to make sure that we are on the right track, as Lisa mentioned earlier. So the best place to put that is in user voice, where you enter feedback for all our features. And please enter that early and often. I promise you, we read every single piece of feedback that comes through. It is, again, truly invaluable to us.
Awesome. So while people are trying this out and giving user voice in, you guys are obviously working on some other goodies with this.
Oh, yeah.
What's next on the table report work that you and the team are working on?
Oh, Jay, there are so many exciting features we kind of have next up on our list, but I actually want to show you one more. When the team told me that this would be ready to demo, I was so excited. And let me just preface this. This one's not out in production yet. This is still kind of in the oven. But I couldn't help but share. I was so excited about this one. So let me clear up my filters here. But you know, let me set up the problem a little bit. I don't know about you, Jay, but I find myself frequently in QuickBase, and I just want to make one quick change on the fly without having to go all the way into edit or into grid edit even. You ever been there?
Could we?
Oh my
I've
gosh.
been there often, just this weekend. I would love to not have to do that.
Yeah. Well, with the addition of this new feature, I can simply double click into a cell, make my changes here. Whoops, let me try that again. Let me add my name here. I'm yelling a little bit, but that's okay. We can't help you type. You have to do that on your own. But you make your changes really quickly, press save, and you are done. You are back in context, right where you were, no problem. It's as easy as it gets.
The quick edit. Can't wait. Oh my gosh. So that's coming later this year?
Yep, you got it exactly. This inline editing feature is what we're calling it. And this is going to be the next area of focus for our table report team after we get the feature to GA. And so you can expect to see this in a table report near you later this year.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Code like the wind, team. We need more of this. This is so awesome. I'm so thrilled that this is in open beta. There's been so much excitement and interest in what we're doing with the table report. And I'm so thrilled with your leadership and the attention to detail that this team has pulled together to deliver a delightful modern experience. This is just great. Can you, before you leave, can you talk a little bit about when this might be available in mobile?
Yeah, great question. So as Lisa mentioned, we're no longer thinking of mobile as kind of something separate anymore. So It's just baked into the experience. So mobile will be getting its own refreshed version of the table report with that sleek new look and improved interaction later this year as well. And you can stop by the mobile demo booth in the virtual exhibit hall to see what it will look like and learn more about that.
Awesome. Alice and team, thank you so much for this really important announcement and for the delivery of the open beta of the table report. Thanks again. Have a great rest of Empower.
I actually just have one more thing that I want to share, Jay, just one more piece of resources. Just in case anyone wants to learn more about the table report, and if you want to learn more about how we're going to improve the experience of building reports, I'll throw out that little teaser. Please stop by the Future of the QuickBase UI session tomorrow at 12:45 Eastern during session block 4.
Awesome. Thanks again, Alice. Have a great day. Thanks for sharing that schedule session with folks.
Thank you, Jay.
And congratulations. All right, I hope everybody liked the table report. The chat seemed pretty positive, so I'm really thrilled about that. And I'm thrilled about our next guest and our next topic, because it's also, it stands on the shoulders of this in the sense that dashboards are a place that many of our users and many of the people that you want to share information with want to have access to great and very high quality experiences in our dashboards. This has been an area of intense focus for us to innovate on the dashboard surface area of QuickBase. And I am thrilled now to welcome to the stage from QuickBase, Ryan Murray, Product on Dashboards. Ryan, welcome. That's as good as I'm going to get with the meters for you, Ryan. I'm really
spot on,
but I'm trying.
No, you were great. I love the walk-up music.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Ryan, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining us. You also, first time Empower Keynote visitor, experienced QuickBase professional and builder. Please introduce yourself to the audience here. I think they'd love to learn about your background.
Yeah, I'm Ryan Murray. I've been at QuickBase for 5.5 years now. Started off on our care team, our newly minted award-winning care team. And really, to this day, has been one of my favorite jobs. Just got to solve QuickBase puzzles all day with some awesome people. Started building QuickBase apps for QuickBase and connecting them to all the other systems we use to help manage our business. And now I'm excited to help QuickBase make QuickBase. So.
Awesome. Well, I know you have some exciting stuff to show, so let me hand it over to you, bud.
I sure do. All right. Now, this should look familiar to most of you. This is our current application homepage, and they're great. You all use them in so many different ways, whether to report out key metrics or as landing pages to kick off really intricate workflows for your end users. Now, just a little background on this app, Jay. This is going to help QuickBase manage protocols for allowing employees to return to the office across our 3 campuses in Boston, Salt Lake City, and now Sofia, Bulgaria. It's going to show us how many seats are available at each site and allow employees to sort of check in and out of meeting rooms and conference room. Now, everyone got sort of a sneak peek last year at the direction that we're heading with dashboards, and I'm pretty excited to show you the progress we made. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. All right, so this is the new hotness. This is our brand new dashboarding experience. So excited to bring some powerful new capabilities to the dashboard.
Great.
First thing you're going to notice here is the new layout. We really want to make sure that our customers can build beautiful data-rich dashboards and have the ability to sort of lay them out and arrange them as they see fit. We've heard from a lot of them. Our current app homepages don't make a great use of real estate and have their own set of limitations. Only 9 reports on a dashboard at once. You can only put 3 widgets in a row at once. So we really want to make sure that they make a really good impression, because they're often the first thing that they see when they log in every morning.
Totally.
Now, we also want to give our builders a better way to segment out their data. You can see here in the dashboard tabs, we're going to allow them to create sort of curated reports and hide and show different collections based on their own needs. So I'm going to pop over to the Site Schedules tab. And there's some empty space over here. I'm going to show you guys the new report building experience. So first thing I'm going to do is be presented with all of the tables in my application. I'm going to go to the seat assignments table and pull in the assignment by sanitation status. And now, once this is added onto the dashboard, Jay, I can just click and drag and resize this just perfectly. It's so satisfying.
That is so satisfying. Yeah, it's satisfying to watch. Satisfying to do.
Oh my gosh. Now, these dashboards, they're beautiful, but they're not just a presentation layer. One of the things that separates QuickBase dashboards from the rest of the pack is the ability to take action on the insights that your apps and reports bubble up to the surface. We want to make sure that you're still able to leverage dashboards as that landing page to create workflows. So take a look at this chart, for example. You can see in Boston, we're only allowed to have 20 employees at the office or in the office at a time. And this line here is, sort of peeking over that. So we can really quickly drill into this data, make our edits on the fly. Soon we'll be able to do quick edits, and then go back to our regular day-to-day workflow.
Nice.
Yeah. Now you probably noticed this guy up here too.
I did notice this guy up here.
This, my friend, is a dashboard level filter. So I can add information from my applications, apply this on the fly to see all the data change.
Nice.
Now it's pretty cool to see this, broken out by department, but as a facilities manager, I may want to get a deeper look into how my data is sort of changing site by site. So I'm going to come here and add a filter. First thing QuickBase is going to ask me to do is name it. And I, like Alice, am also yelling. We're going to choose.
So angry?
I'm just too excited, man. Just too excited. So we'll then be asked to choose the filter type. We'll start out with date range and text filters. And then what QuickBase is doing on the back end here is looking through all of the reports on my dashboard, pulling up the fields that match that field type to allow me to filter by them. So I'm going to choose site here and on our office schedule. I'm going to go ahead and save this to the dashboard. Now that it's saved, first thing we're going to do, obviously, is play with it, test it, make sure it's working, right? All right, so I'm going to see how are we doing in Salt Lake. I'm going to apply these filters, and all right, pretty cool. You can see now both of these are filtered, and we give you that indication with these little dog ears up top.
Yeah.
On the other side, Jay, if I hover over my filters, you can see that our reports light up as well.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, so this is that attention to detail. We're really excited to be, partnered so closely with design to make sure that we're able to fit in these awesome little delighters.
This is great.
Now, Jay, this chart here probably wasn't a great use of this filter since our series is also site. But I can really quickly come in here, configure the report, go to my filters tab, and just toggle this off. And when I update the widget, the dashboard should update in real time as well. We know how important it is for our builders to see what they're building as they're building it. And this is just a sneak peek of what we're thinking of, not only on the dashboard, but in other areas of the product as well.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, I got one more thing for you, bud.
Bring it.
All right. Now, you probably noticed up here, we have another application.
Yes,
now,
I did notice that.
We needed to quickly spin up an app to poll QuickBasers on their preference for when they want to return to the office.
Got it.
Now, because we wrote the book on QuickBase best practices, we implement master data management across all of our applications and all the systems that we run. Now, I know in this survey app up here, we have a field called site. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in a report from our survey table. Here's our surveys. We'll go into the common reports section, pull in the preference by department. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the dashboard. So now we can see sort of an overall look at, as a facilities manager, what's our preference for coming back to campus. And I'm going to go ahead and configure this site filter up here, choose my reports and fields, and in my return to office preference, let's toggle this puppy on. And here we go. Let's see what's happening in Boston. Just like that, Jay, a couple of clicks, just a couple of clicks, we were able to connect data from 2 different applications in QuickBase. This is so exciting, super exciting
This is
stuff.
awesome. This is just such a great example of what we talk about in terms of providing real-time information and insight at detail to lots of different organizations, because now you're pulling information from all sorts of different applications, and that consistency of data type and the master data management with the dashboards provides such a compelling and fast way to get the access to the data that you need. That's awesome.
Yeah, the team absolutely killed it with this, Jay. Couldn't be happier.
Absolutely. So when is the when is the question? When, Ryan?
All right, Jay, I've got really great news. Coming soon, we're going to have a dashboard beta in Q3 this year. If you have questions or need help getting set up in our beta application, come over to the Future of the UI booth in the exhibit hall and we can help you out.
That is just wonderful. Well, I'm just so thrilled with the work that the team and you have been doing. The way you showcase this, I know it's just it's such a powerful and delightful way to make these dashboards available for all apps across our platform.
Yeah, super excited. Thanks for having me on, Jay.
Thanks, Ryan. Have a great rest of Empower. Really appreciate it. So I hope everybody enjoyed the dashboard and the work that we're doing and the work we're doing with the table report to reflect and provide some perspective on the work we're doing on dashboards from a customer's point of view. I would like to now welcome to the stage Mohit Chawla, software product business architect from Accenture. Mohit's been working in our early access program on dashboards and reports and would love to have the opportunity to have him to speak with him for a few minutes. Mohit, welcome.
Hey Jay, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining us in what must be the middle of the night where you are. I really appreciate you taking time to be with us today.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good evening from India.
So you have been working with QuickBase for some time in your role at Accenture. Could you tell our audience a little bit about the work you do at Accenture and how you work with QuickBase?
Right, sure. So I work as a cloud delivery and capability lead at Accenture's Advanced Technology Center of India. As part of my role, I manage transformational initiatives for businesses leveraging digital technologies on the low-code, no-code cloud. I'm also the principal architect and product owner for QuickBase transformations at Accenture. We've been using QuickBase and have been associated with QuickBase for about 7 years now. We are absolute advocates of the platform, that I must say. We serve around 80,000 users on the platform across Accenture and the clients that we serve. We're using QuickBase in a variety of ways. We have more than 200 builders on the platform within the company. And we've been instrumental in orchestrating work management and workflow-based solutions, including areas like human resource and learning, finance and accounting, supply chain, life sciences, and more.
Excellent. And we have been very excited to have your partnership and your insight on our dashboards and on the reports that Ryan was just showing. You and your team's feedback's been really helpful and instrumental. Give us a little, if you could, please share a little bit of your perspective on how on how we're doing there, as well as how you anticipate those capabilities impacting the value you can create for your customers.
Sure. So interactive visualizations and enhanced data analytics were something that we were waiting for on the QuickBase platform. It was much awaited, I would say. Multiple times, clients and even Accenture internal teams have reached out to us demanding for Power BI kind of reporting capabilities integrated with QuickBase. No doubt, QuickBase integrates well with Power BI, and Power BI itself is a strong tool. But having the visualization component layered on the QuickBase platform, will make the platform more powerful and cost-effective. Since we had the liberty of early access of the dashboard, we showcased these to some of our clients, and they loved what they saw. They all interestingly thought that the dark mode was really neat. Ryan hasn't shown you that, but when people get access to the dashboard, the dark mode was really intriguing to all our customers. From a usage perspective, everyone from a back office agent to a requester to business sponsors to process admins all need these dashboards to make their calculative decisions on a day-to-day basis. The data that we collect via our applications will help our customers visualize or identify process improvements and have better data-driven decisions to improve their business. The one feature that we found was most useful is that it can be used at enterprise scale, especially since we can host reports from different applications within the realm and still apply common filters across these reports. So all in all, me and my team of what we've looked at of the dashboard, we are eager for this dashboard to be launched and for our customers to start using it.
Yeah, I really appreciate your endorsement with some of the things you're describing in terms of being able to take the analytics and the visualizations and really spread them broadly across the organization so that more and more people can have access and really use our platform in quick, easy, lightweight ways to filter, slice, dice, and the data that they need any way they want. I really appreciate that, and we're so thankful for your participation in our early access program. Are there any other areas of innovation, given your deep, work with QuickBase, any other areas that you're looking forward to learning more at this Empower that's exciting on our roadmap for you?
Well, I'm sure me and everyone else have been very excited about pipelines. So I would love to hear about pipelines.
Awesome. Well, Mohit, that's very nice of you to ask because that tees up the next section of our keynote perfectly. So Mohit, I want to express my appreciation for you joining us and advocating for us today. That's really nice. And I appreciate also you staying up late. Thank you very much. All our best. Stay safe, be well, and see you soon. Thanks, Mohit.
Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of the event.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. So with a great statement and sort of insights from Mohit, an early adopter and user of our dashboards and reports, which tees us up into making QuickBase more powerful and more effective as a platform. And anchoring that is really, as Mohit suggests, and which I'm really excited to sort of tee up for us to talk about and showcase a little more, is pipelines. Pipelines is an entirely new sort of dimension of what we are bringing to the world with QuickBase. It is an integration platform that was the result of an acquisition we made last summer. And what we really had the vision to do is take what QuickBase as an app platform is world-class at in terms of building applications quickly, enabling you to manage people and data and report and analyze things. And really, we wanted to be able to do two key things. We wanted to be able to orchestrate workflows and integrate into systems across your environment, whether they're SaaS systems, things like QuickBooks, things like Box, things like Salesforce, NetSuite, what have you, as well as on-prem systems. So that ability to have integration and automation connected to, in a tight way, QuickBase, really important to us. I am deeply pleased and grateful to the team that joined us as a result of this acquisition. Many of them, most of them featured here in photos as we went through the acquisition and the onboarding. This team joined us in August, and I'm so pleased that we were able to bring to all of our customers in Q1 the pipelines capability due to their hard work, dedication, and customer focus. This work has led us to start building a set of top-tier partnerships with the logos that you see on this slide, which is very important because when you talk to us about how powerful and how flexible QuickBase is, we agree, and we want to start extending that into the different applications that you have in your estate. Very important that QuickBase exists and you understand that we know we don't exist in an island. We want to be that innovation platform that you can use to extend flexibly workflows that span many different systems. And we're so pleased to have these partnerships in place. To talk more to us today about what we're doing with pipelines, where we're going, and to showcase it to you for real, I'd like to welcome to the stage Director of Product Management, Gev Hovsepian, on a warm summer's evening in a train bound for nowhere. Okay, Gev, you get my country music. Welcome.
Hello, Jay, and hello, everyone. I was just wondering what kind of music I'm gonna get for my
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jay, for introduction. Super excited about this Empower.
Indeed, well, we're thrilled to have you.
Yeah. So, and there are a couple of reasons why I'm excited about this Empower. I think the announcement of pipeline and delivery of pipeline to the market is really a huge milestone for QuickBase, and it is a huge milestone because in the past 2 years, we've been learning from our customers what they need from us, from automation perspective to integration side of the house. And pipeline technology helps us to deliver 3 things to our customers that keeps me excited all day long. The first is powerful automations. We learned from our customers that while our automation was powerful and they could do most of the things our customer wanted, they asked us to deliver advanced queries. They asked us to deliver capabilities like conditions, and they ask us to invest in scale. And with pipelines technology, we deliver all that. The second thing I'm excited about is with pipelines technology, we deliver more complex business logic. We allow our customers to link records across different systems, to do data transformation on the fly, things like change the field type while I'm transferring the data from system A to system B. It also allows our customers to do custom scripting and build very complex, sophisticated logic using the technology. And then the last but not certainly least, it also allows us to deliver powerful integration. As you mentioned, Jay, we already have like around 3 dozens of integration channels. And alongside with those, we also delivered generic controls that allow us to integrate with SaaS products that don't even have native integration channel in our platform. And this is just the beginning. We're going to continue investment in this area, and it's going to be very, very aggressive investment area and focus for our product department.
Absolutely.
So, enough about the slides. Let's do a quick demo.
Indeed.
So to demonstrate this capability, I prepared an app that I called Support Central. This is an application that our customers might use to gather their support requests. Will it be internal, support request to IT, support request to HR, or external? If our customers have provide some services or product to their customers, they can leverage similar process to gather support requests from their customers. Just like Nate and Bruce mentioned, for support case or incident reporting, a lot of our customers use QuickBase like that. And most of the time, they get all those support requests from email, from like support@company.com or any other communication channel, but not directly in QuickBase. So I'm going to demonstrate how we can build that use case in less than 5 minutes, hopefully.
Awesome. Bring it.
My application is very simple dashboard showing some examples or some data about your support, case table that gathers all these requests.
Oh my God, that report looks ghastly. Come on, Gav.
Yeah, we can quickly fix this. So, okay, looks much better now.
Much better.
So I'm gonna build in pipelines the use case where I gather all those support requests from my email. So to build that, I'm gonna go to pipelines. This is the pipeline dashboard where you can see all the workflow automation integration logic that you define in one place. So I'm gonna create pipeline, and this is gonna navigate me to very easy to use drag and drop interface, which we call Pipeline Designer. On the right side of the screen, you have all those various channels that we spoke about. And the left side is that interface where you build the logic. So to build this use case, we're gonna start from our email. So I'm gonna look for my Outlook channel and look for the trigger new email. This is essentially gonna fire up this logic whenever I receive new email in my support email address. So I just defined my trigger. The second thing I need to do is I need to create record in QuickBase. And as you can see under QuickBase, we have many different actions and triggers. And this is what I meant when I said we're improving and delivering capabilities people ask for, like search, fetch linking, look up for a record. So for this use case, we'll do create record. We'll select the table that I was talking about, the cases. And we will select a couple of fields for this logic from the table. So I'll say case note, the email address, full name, and the short description. And now is the fun part, because now I'm gonna do the data mapping between my Outlook email and my QuickBase record. So let's say the body preview can be the case note, the email address I'll get from the email address coming from Outlook. The short description can be my email subject, and my contact can be the name of the person who sends the email. As you can see, I just used very easy to use drag and drop to do field mapping between Outlook and QuickBase. So the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna notify my support team in Slack that there is a new case. So I'm gonna go to my Slack channel. I'm gonna pick a send a message action, and I'm gonna say, hey, there is a new case from, and here is where I can use my data stored in QuickBase in my message. So drag and drop, I got the field right in my message. Last thing I need to do is select my channel. And I'm gonna use Empower 2020 channel for this demonstration. And this is it. I just defined my logic. The next thing I need to do is to run it, which is gonna bring up a debugging screen, which will help me see and test the first use case. So I just quickly send an email from my personal, well, not personal, QuickBase email address.
Yep.
And my pipeline caught that event.
Yep.
Hey everyone, here's my QuickBase email address if you want to reach out to me directly.
Yep.
So it caught the event, created a record for me, sent a message. So if I go back to my QuickBase, refresh this, you will see the first record. I need some help to build my first pipeline.
Yep.
Here's the email that I just sent. And most importantly, this is my Slack message saying there is a new case.
There you go. That's fantastic. And it's so amazing because now what you're doing is you're taking kind of the power of not just QuickBase, but now you're connecting it so seamlessly and so easily to other systems that are in use in your organization so that you can connect systems and connect people that much easier. It's just such a great capability for us. And it's one that I really like this demo because it starts to hopefully drive creativity across our user base on how each and every one of our customers can find ways to use QuickBase with those systems that they're using all the time.
Absolutely. And there are so many opportunities to learn today and tomorrow about pipelines. Yeah. We have roughly about 16 sessions. It will be very hard to miss a session with pipelines because in every session block, we have like 1 or 2 at least. And as I said earlier, this is certainly a huge investment area for us. We're going to look for opportunities to continue investing not only on automation and integration capabilities, we're going to look even further, start thinking about things like robotic process automation and newer technologies like that to empower our builders to build more complex and sophisticated workflows across their enterprise.
Awesome. Thanks, Gev. What are some of the next big channels that are coming up?
That's a fantastic question. So currently we're working on ODBC channel for on-premise software. So we're about to start our beta program. It's really coming soon. And then we are working actively with Google, and we're about to launch our Google channels.
Awesome.
With number of Google products.
Well, Gev, thank you so much for showcasing this to us today. And I want to express again my deep thanks to Boris, to Spartak, to Stasha, to the entire Pipelines team, Cloud Pipes team that joined us last summer. It's been wonderful having you on the journey, and I'm so pleased that we're able to have Gev showcase the hard work that you, Armel, the entire team put together to deliver this capability to our customers. Gev, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jay.
All right. And now, if you're a customer or you're a user of QuickBase that's looked at all this and you have a more technical bent, there are many customers that I talk to or users that I talk to that say, look, I don't need no stinking UI. I need the API. I need to know delightful and modern experience to me means RESTful APIs. Delightful and modern experience to me means I'm just diving right into doing some coding. And that's important to us. We talked last summer about moving forward with a RESTful API, and I'm very pleased to welcome back to the stage today Senior Product Manager for QuickBase, Harrison Hirsch, to talk about what we're doing in this realm. Harrison, welcome.
Yeah. Love the intro back, Jay. Based on just some of the chats and things going on in Slack and Zoom, it looks like I've got a lot to live up to here just to kind of try and keep up with the energy so far. So I'll do my best.
Awesome. Please do. Do you want to share the screen or do you want to keep?
I would love to share. Yeah.
Great. I'll stop sharing. Take it away.
Cool. So you guys should see our new API portal. How's that looking?
It's looking like an API portal. It looks great to me.
Great.
I like that it's called developer.quickbase.com.
Yeah, right. We know the persona right there at the beginning.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, last year at Empower, I got to give everyone a preview of where we were going. It turns out the last year was, we put a lot of good work in. We had to balance not only adding more power to the APIs overall, but really balancing those dual personas, right? We've got the people, like you just mentioned, Jay, that come in just expecting RESTful JSON and they think in a very particular way. We have another set of personas and builders that are really on the edge, citizen builders, citizen integrators, and we needed to be able to appeal to them as well. So really walking that line between all the different personas was a really fun challenge, and I think that you guys will like what we've built. So I'll give you a quick tour. We've got like Jay said, I'm at developer.quickbase.com, and we give you a brief introduction. We step you through how things work, like authorization and headers and errors. And, we've, again, tried to be really careful here and use verbiage and industry terms that are familiar, but hopefully not so intimidating if, you're just getting your feet wet in these types of things. So let's just see how quick we can get off the ground. What I'm going to do is go to QuickBase. And we're looking at a sample application here that is a task summary. really straightforward concept. It's a summary report. You guys are using these on a regular basis. And there's probably some eagle-eyed viewers out there who are thinking that you can't use summary reports in the API, but we've got something cool here. So what I'll do is I'll go back to our API guide, and I don't have to worry about different API names and API gen results table or get schema. I just say I want to get a report. And what this is going to let me do is get the schema, so the properties of an individual report. And I'm going to just plug some things here, and we let you hear, we've just tried to make things a little bit more delightful and focus on attention to detail like you've heard. So you can put in here team or team.quickbase.com, and we allow you to do that. I'm going to plug in a user token, which I'm going to deactivate right after this. And right in the portal, we've now gotten back the schema of a report. We show you the ID, the task name, the summary. We show you how the query is broken down, the properties, all that kind of fun stuff. And this is useful to a lot of you power builders out there that are perhaps replicating QuickBase things into a custom UI, or you want to do kind of your own software development lifecycle type management in applications and ecosystems. We want to let you get those report details. And now if I want to actually run the report, believe it or not, that's just called run a report. And when I click here, we've kept all of my information on the right. I don't have to rekey any of that. And when I hit send, I've now run an API call against a summary report. And what I've gotten is not the underlying record level data, but we're smart enough to say, hey, you've requested a summary report, or you've requested a chart. So we're going to give you the summarized data in a nice, helpful, consistent JSON structure, so that you can use the power of that QuickBase brain, that in-memory database, to power all of the things that you're doing to extend the platform. And that's really cool, because historically, folks had to get the record level data and do all of the aggregation yourself and repeat it. So we're, again, abstracting a lot of that away to simplify the experience for you. So you can run this on calendar reports and charts, like I said, and just based on the type of the report, we're going to give you back either summarized aggregate information, or we're going to give you back the row level information. So a lot of power that we're unlocking here.
That's fantastic.
And, yeah, it's great. This was one of the earliest APIs that we built, and actually has been one of the highest usage ones as well. So we're really happy about that.
Got it.
And if you want to get a little bit more into the weeds here, you can say, you know what, I'd like to do an insert update, or I'd like to query for data. So maybe I don't have a report built in QuickBase. Again, we've said, how can we simplify writing a query to QuickBase? So we can do that here. We can, we'll step you through the body. We'll step you through all of the different pieces of the puzzle. So how you want to group things. We'll go down here. We'll give you a sample response. We also have revamped pagination. So for those of you that have been using the QuickBase API for long enough, you know that depending at a certain size, we might say, hey, you know what, this report is a little too big to safely give it back to you. Could you chunk that up for us? Now we won't give you an error. We'll actually just give you back what we can, and we'll give you the information so you can continue iterating through all those records. Even our insert and update, again, totally ground up how we thought about this. So this is just a single API called upsert. It replaces API add record, API edit record, and import from CSV. It's faster, it's simpler, and it's more consistent. So when you give us content here, we're actually allowing you to give us the information totally round trippable. What that means is when you get the information from any of our API calls, we tell you exactly what they look like on our field types page, and we accept them exactly in the way that we give them to you, which again just reduces the amount of friction or data transformation.
Yeah, no, this is, to me, this may not be, what I love about this is you're following modern design practices that a developer is going to care about, and you're keeping it accessible enough. You don't have to be super deep to sort of find your way through it. It's really intuitive, very elegant, excellent job.
Great, yeah, and just a couple other awesome APIs for you here. We have the ability to get back some field usage detail. A lot of you guys are looking for all of that, and like everything you've heard today, we're certainly not done, and we're going to keep iterating that. So I'll just give you a little bit of preview. Right back into PowerPoint, we've got the ability coming very shortly for you guys to be able to get audit logs via the API. It's been asked for left and right, so we're happy to provide that functionality for you in this brand new API portal, and that'll be out shortly.
Awesome, awesome. So where are we with the JSON API?
They're production ready GA as of right now. Go to developer.quickbase.com, and we've had the team really hard at work on production, just production readiness, making sure that these things can stand the test of time. We know what you're going to throw at them. So
awesome. That's great. Well, congratulations to you and to the team, Harrison. I'm so thrilled that you guys have rallied to bring the RESTful APIs to general availability here on June 2nd. I know it's going to mean a lot to our builders, in particular our power builders. So thank you very much for the great work, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
There's no way that Harrison's done with just a JSON API. Come on. If you know Harrison at all, you know he's got the power to fuel a mid-sized city. He is all on all the time. And about 6 months ago, he came to me and said, hey, look, Jay, the team and I have been thinking about one more thing that we could come up with for Empower that we think would be really special, that we think would be really differentiated, and we think would be really exciting for our builders. And I'd like to effort to get that done. Well, he and the team are really excited to have the opportunity to show this. I think it'll be something that means a lot to our builders, particularly ones that work with our formulas. And with no further ado, I'm going to welcome Harrison back without any more walk-up music. Harrison, welcome back.
I'm very sad I don't get music this time, but this is really exciting. We're really, really happy to be able to unlock even more power with QuickBase. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about formulas, and they are super powerful. You know, a formula in QuickBase, it's part of what we call derived fields. A derived field is anything that's a summary, a lookup, a formula, just things that you don't key in data. And that's where the magic happens, right? That's where the awesome QuickBase in-memory database does all of those cool calculations and business intelligence for you to drive awesome, insights across your business. 97% of all applications that are critical to a business are leveraging at least one of each of all of those types of derived fields, lookups, summaries, and formulas. And just to give you a sense of the scale, there's one customer out there with 480,000 derived fields across their entire ecosystem. That is an enormous amount of code and logic that someone basically did not have to write queries for.
Yeah, lifetimes of SQL code saved.
Yeah, it's
it's like a forest of code missing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not there. This is all stuff that no one had to write. So we're really happy about that. And when we think about what is the future, what does the future look like for us? We think about how do we blend the power of QuickBase and the simplicity. So you saw things like our user interface that, of course, the modernization efforts there are all about making things simpler. There's a little bit of power sprinkled throughout, right? Cross app filtering, those types of things. But we also have things like pipelines and the API that are just raising the ceiling on what you can do. And right down the middle of that is formulas. And we knew it was time to give them some love. So quick time lapse here. Everyone out there has built a reverse parent-child. The cool thing about that is that's a pattern that you all came up with. We didn't come up with that. We released the building blocks, the underlying capabilities, and you all, in a minute and a half, with one summary field, one relationship, and 2 lookup fields, are able to build a reverse parent-child, which is just so powerful. You didn't write any code to do this, right? Again, no deployments, nothing. It's just a bunch of power, but we thought there had to be another way to do this, right? How are we gonna take this to the next level? And that's all formulas. So certainly not taking away the ability for you to build those relationships, but we think that there's a much easier way. And let's give you a look at what this entails. So in this example, I'm getting the current tenant name. So pretty straightforward concept of relationships. And those of you that have all of our formula functions memorized will not know what these are, and that's because they're brand new. We've got get cell value and get record. And what now I'm able to do is point QuickBase to a given record ID and a given table to gather a piece of information from that table. Now, again, the power here isn't just this example. The power is really what this represents, kind of a new frontier of QuickBase. So I've asked QuickBase to get me field ID 8 from a given record, and I've effectively, in less than a minute, just replaced that reverse parent-child. Pretty simple. I think we can do better than that, though. You all out there, there's many of you on here right now that are building advanced summaries and You call them statistics tables on a regular basis. There's a time lapse here, 5.5 minutes. And again, just a crazy amount of power that in 5.5 minutes, we're adding tables, relationships, summaries, lookups, automations, all of these cool things that are driving business intelligence. And again, there's probably a better way to do that. And so we're going to get through this time lapse at 5.5 minutes and then go to the next way to do it. So in this case, I've still got a monthly revenue table. That's a pretty common database pattern. We're going to say we'd like to gather the total monthly rent, and we'll add a formula numeric field because we're going to allow you to do this on all sorts of different types of fields. And let's go here, and instead of adding the relationship and the summary field, again, just bear with me, step through this. Don't worry too much about the individual syntax that we're driving here, but we're going to use get records, and we're going to put in a query instead of having to key in an individual record field that points me to it. So we accept either. We accept either the field if you know it somewhere on the record, or if you need to query the information. And if this looks a little intimidating, don't worry about it. OBF in our query language just means on or before. OAF means on or after. Really straightforward. We're saying, hey, QuickBase, we need you to find the information that drives but that is on or after the first of the month and on or before the end of the month. And now we've said get cell value num, so a number, and we're going to put in the table. Basically, we've simplified it so that if you don't give us a table, we assume you mean the table we're on, but you can point us to another table. So we go here, we say, I'd like to plug in field ID 8, and we're wrapping that whole thing up in a sum. So effectively like a summary field without a relationship. Just an immense amount of power. We're going to do that. We're going to plug in our decimal places, format the number. Again, no one had to write any code how to do that, and hit save. And we've now in real time just effectively generated that total monthly rent with no additional relationship. So just an immense amount of power. I know that there's chats going on, and everyone, there's got to be gears turning, right? So a minute and a half.
I think it's safe to say gears are turning, Harrison, just watching the chat.
I'm trying not to keep, I'm trying not to look at it. But.
So yeah, exactly. You're glad you didn't. I think that it's safe to say that you've sparked people's imagination, and it's really important. So yeah, continue on.
Yeah, this is awesome. Just to summarize what you guys just saw, first off, we're going to let you gather data without relationships, right? So that means anywhere in the application that you can figure out what we're pointing to, right? Whether that's a ID number, a settings table, maybe you have a roster of people and you know the the email address of the current user. You can just say, I'd like you to go get properties from this individual user without needing to add complex relationships. You can do advanced aggregates, which means a whole bunch of really cool things like you just saw. One brief element of that was sum. We're expecting averages, mins, max, all those types of things. And even more powerful is we're going to expand these so that you can actually override our built-in averages in places like summary reports. So if the average that we're giving you is too simple and you need to override that and do things like a weighted average, again, we'll have a way to do that and solve that. We're also looking at usability improvements. So with the millions of formulas that are running at any given time on QuickBase, there's a whole host of things that we'd like to do to just improve quality of life, make things a little bit simpler. So the one example that I come back to there is we have a function that lets you get the month, and we'll give you, 1 is January, 2 is February. And for years, you've all been writing a case function or an if to say if it's 1, put January. We can give you that in a pretty straightforward way and just call it something like month name. So we've got about a list of 15 of those types of things. Just you can do them today probably, but we'd like to simplify them a little
awesome.
bit.
When will people be able to see this and get their hands on it, Harrison?
We're early. We know that you guys are ready to beat this up and throw queries on top of queries on top of averages, and I'm sure that the engineers are getting some heartburn keeping an eye on the chat right now. But we'll have a beta of this in the winter and really start beating it up and get feedback.
Awesome. Harrison, thank you so much. Thank you to the team. I really appreciate you coming to us and suggesting that this could be a great way for us to take things forward. Why don't you make the announcements on the where people can learn more?
Yeah, I got a session on this. It's going to be led by Eric Molman. A lot of you guys know him, and it's called The Next Evolution of Quick-Based Formulas. So we'll go over these things in a little bit of depth. Of course, want to gather your feedback and questions, and we're excited about this.
Awesome. Harrison, thanks so much for all the contributions that you've made to this keynote, for the work that you do every day. Thanks to the team for making this work available. We really appreciate you showing it to us today.
Thanks for having me.
Do one thing here. I got so excited I was supposed to take care of a slide production note there and completely forgot because I got drawn into the API. Sorry. Here we go. Now I'm sharing my screen. All right. To start bringing us home as I wrap this up, I thought it would be important in this day and age to also just bring one more customer out. Tyrell was with us last year at Empower. Tyrell is the executive director of the Orleans Parish Communications District. He's somebody who was also, when COVID-19 hit and really became a crisis for the nation, he was the first customer to reach out and talk to me about kind of what the challenge is and the ways that he and his team were overcoming tracking COVID-19 and helping keep their citizens safe. And I thought he'd be a good person to share with us his experiences and what was going on. So I wanted to welcome back to the Empower stage, Tyrell Morris from New Orleans. Tyrell, welcome.
Hey, Jay, thank you all for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to come before you all. I was looking forward to seeing you all in San Diego, but I'm glad to see there's so many more people here joining us today.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we're not there in person. It was great having the chance to meet up last summer. Obviously, crazy times. Can you tell us a little bit about sort of what's going on in New Orleans these days and how QuickBase is hopefully helping you, your team, and your citizens manage through these trying times?
Absolutely. So OPCD, we are the Emergency Communication Center for Orleans Parish, which is essentially the city of New Orleans. We answer 911 and 311 calls. We manage all public safety responses in real time as they occur. One thing that's interesting about the city of New Orleans is that we have a resident population of a little over 400,000, but we do protect 18 million visitors a year.
Wow.
A center of my size will accept about a million calls a year for service. And the COVID-19 pandemic, we had to pause and we had to reimagine what efficient and effective government looks like. Just like when I called upon you in October when the Hard Rock Hotel collapsed, I needed to quickly develop an application to help us track the first responders that were going in and out of the hot zone. And we developed within 30 minutes and deployed evac tracker so we could quickly meet the needs of the people on the ground. But the COVID-19 pandemic presented a new challenge for us, and we had to reimagine what a government interaction looked like. And it was important that we had tools to help us meet people where they are. And when we had people who were losing their jobs, we had incidents of food insecurity, we had just people who were just scared that they were going to make it to the next day. And it was imperative that this particular team and this agency were boots on the ground with those individuals that call this city home. Using the QuickBase platform, as you know, our 311 platform was already built on QuickBase, so we're able to bust that out fairly quickly. We did establish a self-quarantine registry where we asked the citizens to report via QuickBase that they were home and that they were symptomatic. And so every day, a member of my staff, Erica Mercadale-Hayes, our 311 manager, is on the session with us today, and she made calls to over 100 people a day just to check on people. And so they really felt like the government was entrenched with them throughout this crisis. We identify what their needs were. They may say, hey, my symptoms are getting worse, so we send them an ambulance, or they're getting better, or I need someone to help me pick up my medication, or I need groceries. We, at one time, were able to, meet the people where they were, and they really, really felt like government was engaged. At one particular time, the city of New Orleans has some of the fastest growing spread than any jurisdiction or pocket of population in the world. And I think the numbers today shown that we have made a remarkable recovery. That is only because we've had tools like this. We've had very strong leadership at the top. Our mayor, LaToya Cantrell, leaned in from the beginning and she will make those difficult decisions when presented with data. Your system provides real-time data that is very much so we can trust it, it's secure, and we can inform our decisions around it. The other piece is that we are now, as the city is in phase 1 reopening, we are using QuickBase to track those complaints. when businesses are not playing well in the sandbox. And then we track that inquiry or that complaint, and we're able to demonstrate value of the platform by tracking the entire process through workflow, where we're having a response from our code enforcement officials either same day or next business day, and really able to correct the behavior to further flatten the curve.
Awesome. That just sounds like a tremendous amount of just adaptation that you and your staff have had to take on. And I just can't even imagine the challenges that that's presented you from just a business, from a hard work, and just from a personal standpoint. And I couldn't be more pleased that we've been, an effective partner for you. We strive, of course, every day, but it's so meaningful to have you share just a little bit of perspective of how, in light of this crisis, our tool has been able to play some small but meaningful role in that work. So I'm so thankful that you were willing to spend the time to talk to us a little bit today, Tyrell.
Jay, I would take Harrison's part, one more thing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
In December, the city of New Orleans came under a ransomware cyber attack.
Oh, my.
And our public safety systems are in a separate environment, but also the 311 platform, because of our public safety systems being segregated and 311 being in the cloud and your highly secure data centers, there was no gap in service. We were able to continue to meet the needs of our people throughout that emergency. And I cannot stress to you, QuickBase team, enough. I understand security to be one of your top priorities, and that really does matter to the customers like us, where people depend on us on the worst day of their life. So thank you all to you and the team.
Thank you very much, Tyrell. That's wonderful of you to say, and a fantastic one more thing. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay well, and thank you so much for taking a few minutes to speak with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Really appreciate Tyrell and all the customers, all the partners that have joined us today. Want to just round out with, close this up here. As Ed said at the beginning of this talk, we see the world as fundamentally changed, and we see our mission as a community, as a company, as a platform on helping the world get back to the future of work. And we're announcing a comprehensive set of initiatives to do just that. We are initiating a rallying cry for our entire community. We have a new Slack channel, which we hope you'll engage with, a great way to connect with each other and with us. We are going to be opening up a new section of the QuickBase Exchange, applications built by our community for helping companies adapt to the here and now and adapt to what happens in the future. We are expanding the access to expertise in our organization. This includes things like the recent launch of our 24/7 support, but it also includes newly launched initiatives where we make available to customers quick starts, the ability to have people in our organization sit with you, build those first business critical solutions, so that as you gain skill, as you seek to gain and ramp up your skill and knowledge of QuickBase, you can do it with our professionals sitting side by side with you. Similarly, our best practices and the processes that we can put in place with customers to set up centers of excellence so that citizen innovation at the edge can happen in your organization in a managed, trusted by IT way that delivers that value to the business, so that you have the process in place to be able to have governed citizen innovation. And the continual investment we've spent a long time talking about, and I'm not going to recap much. Here's a summary of all the announcements that we had. I hope you agree with me that we have filled up your cup of innovation with the Platform Insights dashboard announcement, the mobile data, offline data entry, the new table reports in open beta, the new app dashboards that's coming into beta later this summer, the general availability of the API, the on-prem ODBC channel and G Suite channels coming soon to a pipeline near you, and the new formula functions that we just made. A tremendous amount of innovation across trust, simplicity, and power. And finally, as Ed hinted at the beginning, because we think this moment is so important and so vital, not just for QuickBase, but for our total community and this entire movement, we're announcing an appathon that's going to come later this year, or date to be determined. It's a big prize pool, $250,000 of prize money, with the theme around innovative solutions that help companies evolve for the future of work. This is a prize pool for people in our community, and I wish that if you wish to learn more and join more in it, please register on our website to learn more. With that, I want to thank you all for the time and the attention. I want to thank the product team. I want to thank the production organization. I want to thank the band. And I want to invite you all to join us in driving this movement towards getting the world back to the future of work together. Thank you very much. Be well, be safe. All my best. Thank you.
All right. All right, QuickBase, thank you so much for having us. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. You're a real tough cookie with a long history of breaking little hearts like the one in me. That's okay, let's see how you do it. Put up your dukes, let's get down to it. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Come on with the come on, you don't fight fair. That's okay, see if I care. Knock me down, it's all in vain. I'll get right back on my feet again. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Mr. Matt Hornbeck on guitar. You're a real tough cookie with a long history, breaking little hearts like the one in me. Or I'll put another notch in my lipstick case. You better make sure you put me in my place. Hit me with your best shot. Come on, hit me with your best shot. Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Thank you so much. Thank you, and enjoy Empower.